Hi everyone, Drew Mackin here. So as promised, I wanted to put together a quick video for you to show you how to create a Facebook interest list. Now, I know many agents struggle with this idea of coming up with interesting content to share to the network that's going to get them to engage with them. And I get it. It's a process to sort of scour the web to find this information that's worth sharing. So what's really cool about Facebook interest list, you can set it up in such a way where it makes that process of finding interesting things worth posting to Facebook, it makes that process incredibly simple. So here's how it's going to work. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to visit facebook.com/bookmarks/interest. Now you're going to be brought to this page here. Now on the top right hand side, you're going to see a button that says Add Interest. Go ahead and select that. Now when you're on this page, you're going to see some suggestions from Facebook. Now these suggestions are based off my existing likes. So you'll see things like social media and food and technology and marketing and innovation, right? These are lists that other people have created. And some of them may be very relevant to you and your business, so you may want to subscribe to these lists. But in today's video, I want to show you how to create your own list to, say, come up with some local information that's worth sharing. So the next step here is I want you to click on the Create List button here, again on the top right-hand part of the screen. And when you do that, a dialog box is going to pop open here, and there's going to be no results that appear. So I want you to begin to search for local pages that are kind of servicing your existing area. So I'll give you an example of this. The Boston Globe services my area, right? They cover the New England. They cover all news in New England, primarily Boston, but again, most of New England. So I'm going to go ahead and subscribe, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to add them to the list. Now, and again, I'm just going to keep adding news companies here. So I'm going to say WMUR is a local news station here. So I'm going to go ahead and add them to the list. And I'm going to keep going here. I'll add the Boston Herald to the list. Again, another local news organization that covers Boston and the New England area. And I'll add one more to it. I'll add the Union Leader, which is a New Hampshire newspaper. Let me go ahead and subscribe to that. Okay, so I've added the Boston Globe, the Boston Herald, WMUR, and the Union Leader. Now, it's going to prompt me to name this list. So I'm just going to call this Local News. Now, you can select your privacy settings. Who can see this list? Now, this is totally up to you. If you want to have people subscribe to this list, then, make it public. If you only want to have this list available to you, you can select Only Me, and that list is only available to you. So for today's video, I'm just going to set the privacy settings to reflect Only Me, as I'm the only person who can see this list. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click Done. What's going to happen next is the page is going to reload, and you're going to see a feed of all the status updates from all these news organizations, right, that are covering my local area. Now, on the right-hand side, you'll see it's giving me some new suggestions based off of the people or the pages I've already added to this list. So you see the New Hampshire Chronicle. You'll see WMUR weather updates. You'll see the New Hampshire, which I believe is just the actual government in New Hampshire here. New Hampshire Magazine. I'm adding all these companies here to all these pages to the list. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh the screen here, and you'll see now I have, as opposed to 4, I now have 8 sources of information on my list. So this feed here, again, is very specific. It's all about local information, local news. So if I want to, say, come up with some interesting content to share to my network that's about the local area, I jump over to my local news interest list, I scan through this feed, and I find something worth sharing. So, a tractor trailer crashes and closes down Marlborough Road. Maybe that's the local area I service. Maybe I update my page and say, hey guys, be careful, Marlborough Road just had an accident. There's an accident on Marlborough Road. You want to avoid that for the next couple hours. Here's a link to learn about the full story, right? It makes that process, if I can just kind of hopefully illustrate that, it makes that process of sifting through to find interesting content and then taking that content and sharing it to your network to provide value. It makes that process incredibly simple and easy. So think about this. Think about creating a local news interest list. Think about creating a real estate interest list. Think about creating maybe a local restaurant interest list where you highlight, you get all the local restaurants who have Facebook pages, and you create a list for those local restaurants, and maybe you find deals and discounts and all that stuff that these guys are already publishing to their pages, and you begin to curate that and share it with your network. The last thing I want to show you how to do is add this to your favorites. So you see on the left-hand side here, you'll see the my favorites. So my news feed, the Frugyl Club, of course, a group I belong to called Turn On from Mark Davidson. And you'll see, again, right below that, real estate, innovative brands, Facebook, social entrepreneurs, design, and business leaders. These are interest lists I've added to my favorites, right? So it's going to always appear on the top left-hand side when I'm on my Facebook homepage. So it's always there front and center, so I can quickly jump in there and I can find, innovative brands. I can quickly scan through this, right, and find some interesting article about an innovative brand and how they're using technology. So the list I just created is called Local News. So when I hover over Local News, you'll see a pencil icon here. Go ahead and click on that. And when you click on that, you're going to see a button that says Add to Favorites. Go ahead and click on that, and you'll notice the Local News interest list is now under my favorites. So it's right there, front and center, and it's easy for me to get to. So you may want to bookmark this, but again, it's really very easily accessible. As opposed to kind of scanning through the news feed, now you have all this interesting content, relevant, that's organized in a simple way. You have it right there available to you with one click. So I hope you found this video helpful. As always, if you have any questions, simply post in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks, everyone.